Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentri. Welcome to the AFC North edition of the NFL Draft Analysis. At this point, I don't even know what we've all covered, when this is getting released, yada, yada, but we've done a ton of stuff. So if you're into the draft, you want quick hitters, like what do you think of these drafts? Oh, my division rivals doing good. We tell you, we break it down, we give you the vision, what we think, all that good stuff. So now we're here in the AFC North, Tyson. And the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, guys, is everybody just handing out A+? You're the one reading recaps, things like that. What do you think?
It's A's across the board here, but it's like this is what they do. It's Eric DeCosta. It's the ghost of Ozzie Newsome. It's let the board fall to us. We're going to take the best player because we're in a position to do that. Because for 15 years we've taken the best player, and our roster turned out pretty good. Malachi Starks, we talked about, it's going to be a monster. Mike Green, he goes to Vegas, and it's like this guy's going to be out of the league. These off-field concerns are crazy. I can't believe you just drafted somebody with all this baggage at 59th, but he goes to the Ravens, and it's like home run. They did it again. Emory Jones is going to be able to play, maybe at least a rotational tackle, which you take in the third round if you're the Ravens. They go Buchanan, the linebacker from Cal. Vincent, the offensive tackle, Alabama A&M, another huge human being. Cohn, cornerback from Western Michigan. They took a kicker, Brad, in the 6th round. What do you think about Tyler Loop?
He's good.
To the Ravens. I think so too. LeJounte Wester from Colorado, the forgotten Colorado player in this draft, the wide receiver. Peebles from Virginia Tech. Robert Longerbeam from Rutgers, another corner. And then they rounded it out with Garrett Dillinger, who's just going to come into camp and just punch somebody in the face.
Well, this was a busy draft, as you can tell. And they kind of hit all their checklist. Like, what do we need here? Okay, let's pair somebody with Kyle Hamilton. Let's go get Malachi Starks. That's huge. We need another pass rusher. Mike Green, listen, like you said, the culture is in this place for Baltimore. Mike Green, go kind of look that up. I don't want to get into that here, but it is something. That's one of the reasons why he felt this guy's this uber talent. The Ravens said they did their due diligence and they're comfortable taking him. Okay. All right. So we'll see what happens there. Emory Jones, this is a guy who was supposed to be a top 5 pick, first rounder.
He was supposed to go
crazy. Yeah. And they get him here, and they need offensive line help. It was huge. So I like those day 1, day 2 picks, Tyson. The rest of the way here, listen, the place kicker's pretty telling. I think Justin Tucker, you want to talk about allegations? I think he might be on his way out of town. And Tyler Loop's pretty good, man.
Talk about allegations. No, I don't.
But I thought this was a solid draft for the Ravens. Like they always do.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers here. No Shedeur Sanders. That's basically the headline. I mean, God, but I thought they did a good job. I mean, listen to these names. First pick, Tyson, first rounder. Derek Harmon, defensive tackle, Morgan Monster. We went over that in our recap. 3rd round running back. Didn't have a 2nd round pick. Everybody's thinking this is the moment. Shedeur Sanders. No, we're going to double down on what we like to do, our ethos. We're going to get the big bruising running back from Iowa, Caleb Johnson. Okay, 4th round pick. This has got to be it. No, edge rusher, Jack Sawyer from Ohio State. Okay, we're kind of putting it in the past here. It's probably not going to be the defensive tackle, Yahya Black, Iowa, another guy who can play. We finally get our quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is gone. Now you can take one. Let's go get Will Howard, quarterback from Ohio State, come off the championship. And then you rounded out Carson Bruner, from a linebacker from Washington, cornerback Dante Kent from Central Michigan in the 7th round. I was shocked that Carson Bruner fell to the 7th round. I thought that was a great pick for him. But, man, talk about notable names and notable schools here for the Steelers.
Yeah, I think, we went into the Harmon thing, perfect fit. Caleb Johnson, I think, is a home run here. Like, this was one of the spots we talked about when we were doing all these, like, combine rises and fallers. It's like, well, Caleb Johnson goes to the Steelers. He's probably going to end up being pretty good, and I think he's going to end up being pretty good. Jack Sawyer was a guy, like, after the college football season, you were seeing mocks where it's like he's going to go in the 30s. Look, he's not athletic and all of this stuff, but plays winning football, and he's, and that's what he can play the run probably better than a lot of the other edge rushers in this class. He's just not going to get after the passer the way you want. And you know what? At pick 123, that's okay. I think the Steelers nailed it. Aaron Rodgers, congratulations. You got all the bargaining power. Go crazy, brother. And DK Metcalf was their 2nd round pick. Let's throw that in there.
That's a good point. That is a good point as well. Let's get into Cincinnati, Tyson. Oh, man. What are the Bengals going to do to help out Joe Burrow? Well, let's take Shamar Stewart. Talk about a lottery ticket in the first round, 17 overall edge rusher from Texas A&M. We went into that. We think if it hits, it hits. That is great. If not, I think you might have hurt yourself a little bit, but we'll see there. Second round pick, Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker from South Carolina. Third round pick, offensive guard, Dylan Fairchild. There's the offensive lineman. Rest of the way, fourth rounder, Barrett Carter, super cerebral guy, linebacker from Clemson. Fifth round pick, offensive guard, another one, Jalen Rivers from Miami. Then you go Taj Brooks, running back from Texas Tech in the sixth round, which was pretty notable to me. What'd you make of this? I thought it was kind of interesting from the Bengals.
It was like we talked about it. Shamar Stewart could hit. It doesn't feel like the Bengals were in a position to take a Tracy guy over a production guy with the way this defense has been rolling. A lot of people don't love the fact that, you go Knight in the second and Carter in the fourth. Two of your first four picks are linebackers. They needed it. And I think Knight's going to start for this team eventually. I think Fairchild will start for this team eventually along the offensive line. But the Taj Brooks things made me smile. One, because I love Taj Brooks. We love Texas Tech football here, and he's a stud. But they took him in the sixth, and they also traded the seventh for Khalil Herbert from the Bears. And that feels awfully weird to me.
That is strange. Like, I don't know kind of what's going on there. I mean, listen, Joe Mixon was your workhorse for so long. Did they kind of recognize that they ran him into the ground a little bit and he kind of ran out of juice? Maybe, like, all right, let's start splitting some of these reps, But the offensive guard thing, I mean, Fairchild, I don't know if he's can play tackle.
No,
Jalen Rivers can't. I don't think any of these guys can play tackle. They tried to upgrade on the edges, but did they realize, like, okay, we can better get offensive tackles. We throw money at them, but we just need to get developmental guys up the middle. That's what I'm wondering here, because I thought a lot of people thought, I think, in the first round, they're going to go offensive tackle. They're going to do something to address that. And it didn't come until the third round.
Well, I hope that's not what they thought, because the throwing money at guys hasn't worked either.
Right, that's the problem.
So I don't know. I mean, just another Bengals draft where I kind of want at 17. I was like, how funny would it be if they took like Ibuka?
Oh, it'd been hilarious. It'd been so good. Great for us, team content over here. But speaking of team content for us, the Cincinnati Browns, and the Cleveland Browns, but a lot of these teams. I told you before we jumped on here, I watched Draft Day, and then one of your buddies is like, oh, is that based on a true story? We're like, I mean, at that time, Cleveland doing anything smart. And it's like all of a sudden, they get the brain trust in here, and I'm loving this draft. We went over the Mason Graham thing. They trade out of 2. They take a guy, potentially could be one-on-one, open things up for Myles Garrett. Go check out what we thought on that front. But then 2 second-round picks. They go Carson Schlesinger, a linebacker from UCLA with the first pick in the second round. Then 3 picks later, Quinshon Judkins, running back from Ohio State, who you and I are like, man, this could work here. Then 2 more day 2 picks in the third round. You go Harold Fanning Jr., tight end from Bowling Green, whose upside is high. Dylan Gabriel, which was shocking to everybody to take him here. I was like, what is going on? But then you regroup, you come back. Everybody's talking about Shedeur Sanders. You take Dylan Sampson, the running back from Tennessee, who a lot of people liked. And then we just broke down, the opportunity here for Shedeur Sanders. Go check that out. That's one of the earlier ones we did in the week. Man, oh man! This was this was a great draft, I thought, for the Browns.
Yeah, they did a ton, and I think it all looks really good right now. And like, if Shedeur Sanders, Dylan Gabriel wins the job and is able to be the man in Cleveland, we're not going to care. But I do want to caution everybody: like, Mason Graham could be awesome, all of this stuff. If Travis Hunter is the guy he's been billed to be, and they whiff in 2026 and don't end up with a quarterback from this whole thing, then all this Andrew Berry's a genius, the guy who built the way it looks right now, all of this stuff, it's for naught, and they messed up again. So I made a little bit of a bet here.
I'm into it. We're gambling men here. I'm on the, I can see it, man. Listen, you take Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders.
How much do they hate Jerome Ford?
Oh, God. They see him score touchdowns. They're like, screw this guy. One, Stefanski must just despise him because he never gets the ball with opportunities to score.
He's got to hate him, dude. That's like every time they see Jerome Ford, they think about the Nick Chubb injuries, and they're like, we got to get 2 running backs in here.
100%, dude. Jerome Ford's been reliable. There's like, screw you, dude. But I'm into it, man. I thought Andrew Berry, shout out Andrew Berry. This will be interesting to see how this all plays out. But let's being completely honest here. Mason Graham's, I think, probably day 1 starter.
Oh, no doubt.
I don't know about Schlesinger, but that's a guy who can play, I think. Is 𝐸'Nchon Judkins your day one starter at running back?
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
You think so? Like, well, they hate Ford, we said, but like,
Well, they hate
you think he's
Ford
walking in?
and you know, Chubb is hurt, but I think that again, I think that, dude, there's like 14, 15 teams that 𝐸'Nchon Judkins would be the day one starter on.
Does Harold Fanning Jr. make
next year for
𝐸'Njoku? What about if somebody like the Eagles trade for him? 𝐸'Njoku.
I don't know. Harold Fanning can't block, and the Browns are not going to be able to pass. So they're going to need somebody, you know, to be able to hold off the edge rusher so they don't get another running back killed.
That's a good point. All right. That's enough of me doing my nonsense. Like, subscribe, and share the show. On the way out, you guys know the drill. We're finishing up here. We got NFC South, AFC South. I think that's the order how it's coming out. We'll talk to you guys then. Peace.